welcome to Dumping With Scrump. It's Scrump and Lilith Lovett here today. How do you like that artwork with Lilith hanging out in the tub?
Yes, it's subtle, but it's there.
I haven't seen the artwork.
It's right there.
Yay. I like it. I'm the show's mascot now.
So Scrump, what are we talking about today? Hit me with it.
Ooh, I know we usually tackle some forms of autism, but we are tackling one of the highest forms of autism. I am, of course, referring to that guy with the glasses, aka Channel Awesome, but when it was relevant, everyone just knew it as that guy with the glasses, so...
I thought you said that guy with the glasses, AK, and I'm like, oh Jesus, is the YouTube shooting coming into this?
Oh, no.
No, that's currently ongoing. We should talk about that another time. Fucking hell.
Just kind of blow the lid off this entire operation here. As we're recording this Channel Awesome episode, the YouTube shooting is currently happening.
So yeah, there's been a lot of drama recently surrounding Channel Awesome. Mainly through things that, like, people who, like, I'm really into this shit. I have, like, the red lines on my wall, mapping out the contributors, mapping out the drama. I'm a little bit addicted to this stuff because it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating watching these slightly broken people shout at each other. But anyway, yeah, there's been a big blow up and kind of a document published.
Well, before we start, you guys have both you two seen Medicare's series on that guy with the glasses?
I have.
I liked the good half.
The good half? What do you mean?
Like, it started off well and then it got progressively a bit shitter. Like, he really dropped the ball in the Angry Joe episode. Like, what the fuck was that?
He did went on for a bit too long on that one audience drama, I think.
Well, I will say that even though we did take a bit of a shit on Jim last Dumping With Scrump, I still think that his That Guy With the Glasses series is really good. I think it's worth watching. I think if you haven't seen it, you should go see it. Especially since I think it serves as a good primer for this stuff. You kind of have to know what That Guy With the Glasses was all about before you start digging into these documents.
Look, say what you will about Jim. He is an exceptional internet historian. Trademark.
I wish the Internet Historian would do something on Channel Awesome or something like that. That'd be amazing. If you're watching this, please do that. Your format is very good, and I like the little visual jokes you put in your videos.
So to start off, Channel Awesome was, I say was, even though the site's still around, because was is definitely the case. Started with Doug Walker's That Guy With the Glasses character, the Nostalgia Critic. He got big because he crossed over with Angry Video Game Nerd. He basically did the same kind of content, but he talked about movies instead of games. This was like, what, 2008? This was a long fucking time ago.
This was like 2007, my dude.
2007, okay. This is old. This is old YouTube. And so this site kind of blows up because of AVGN exposure, becomes the big name on Blip TV for a while.
Remember Blip?
And then, like...
I remember Blip.
Yeah, me too. And then turns out to be complete shit as people leave and leaks start happening. Oh, it turns out it's not a legitimate internet company, it's just retards who don't know how to actually run anything. Lord Cat, who used to be on it, he said it best in one of his streams. He said that the people who run Channel Awesome were basically given the next big internet thing, and they squandered it because they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. They could have, like, they're a shitty tiny channel now on YouTube. They could have been a fucking multimedia empire if they had actually managed it properly, and it went down the tubes.
The thing is, they never hired anyone professional. They were just a bunch of people that were thrown in. This is what happens when you do that, evidently.
The biggest problem with them was that, yeah, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but they also, if anyone has ever used the website, or the old website, they were inept in every way, because that guy with the glasses, the website, was unusable for a long time. Like, it was old internet style. They had very basic things lacking. They didn't have decent web designers. They didn't have decent tech people. They almost completely disappeared down the toilet when Blip TV went down. Yeah, they were kind of handed the next internet thing. I like Lord Cat. Lord Cat's kind of this man in the wilderness who's been shouting about how shit they are for years and no one's been listening. God bless him. Well, so have I, but I'm like I said, we're the autists who follow this shit. But now the blow-up has become a bit more mainstream. And yeah, everything Lord Cat said turned out to be true. Even though a lot of people who are now siding against Channel Awesome and the guy with the glasses previously kind of sided against Lord Cat and basically called it... There's been a lot of drama between the contributors, let's say. And Lord Cat's no stranger to that.
Dude, we should fucking get Lord Cat on this show.
We should do. Or Iron Liz, because that's another one she was actually featured on one of Jim's streams, if you remember.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one.
Well, wasn't the whole thing with Iron Liz that she was like dating Linkara, and Linkara kept making excuses, and it's like, no, this is actually a woman, and Iron Liz is like, no man, I'm a tranny. No, dude, like I have a penis, and Linkara's like, no.
Linkara, let me sit you down and tell you a simple truth. The dick only makes it better.
He needs to be out and proud about it. Well, I guess I would be biased in this line of thinking, would it?
Feminine Venus.
Iron Liz seems pretty cool. She seems like she's politically got her head screwed on as well, which I never really followed Iron Liz. I just thought she was Linkara's girlfriend. I'm sorry, Liz, but having reevaluated her after the Mecha thing, she makes decent content and seems like a pretty decent person. So, yay for coming out of Channel Awesome looking sane. That's pretty rare these days.
So there's a Google document called Not So Awesome floating around, and it says, a record of events while working for that guy with the glasses. There are many different grievances that need to be shared, but the following points are what we feel are the most grievous and should be known by the public above all others. This is for the record and organization and to help clarify and inform. This is not about defamation or destruction, but about clearing the air and correcting misconceptions. Now, I've seen a lot of drama blowouts start with that, like, we're not here to destroy them, we're just here to clear the air. They have to know that this stuff destroys people. Like, they have to know this is going to destroy Mike Michaud and Doug Walker and Rob Walker. They must know that.
I think the problem really is that everyone's got so sick of their shit that no one cares anymore. You're right, Channel Awesome is effectively dead at this juncture, or at least it should be, because most of their major contributors have either left previously or are now distancing themselves from now this document's come out. This has been a long time coming. I've often wondered how Channel Awesome managed to limp on as it does, knowing what I do about behind-the-scenes stuff. You mentioned Mekata's videos, and Mike Michaud was brought up in those because he's had some let's say pretty choice Skype conversations leaked over the years with contributors, in which he basically refuses to listen to them or just straight up shouts at them. Mike Michaud is basically the man behind the curtain when it comes to Channel Awesome. There has been some speculation that he owns a lot of the IP related to it too, but I don't know that for certain. There were some people on the inside saying that, though.
Well, that was part of the leaks of this document, that the reason that Doug and Rob Walker are still with Mike Michaud is because he owns Nostalgia Critic.
Is there any evidence of that yet? Because I heard it bandied around on social media a lot, and it might have just come from that.
It does come from the contributors, which we'll get into here shortly. I'm not going to read... This entire thing is 69 pages, okay? And it is linked in the description, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But there is an abbreviated version called Not So Awesome Condensed, and it actually lists off the grievances and then has links to where each person who wrote the original document stated those grievances. So for example here, like number 1 on the list, Mike Michaud, current CEO of Channel Awesome, has a history of being unprofessional, aggressive, immature, difficult, and misogynistic. And then it has citations. So it says Alison Pregler, which was Obscurus Lupa, on pages 4 and 5. Kaylin Saucedo, who's that? I think that's Mars Girl? Pages 24 and 25. Holly Brown, she worked behind the scenes, pages 29 to 31. Lewis Lovehog, pages 32 to 37, that's Linkara. Benjamin Daniel, page 38, that's Benzai. Dr. Gonzo, page 41 46. So basically, and you can keep going. Oh, there's Lindsay Ellis, page 60 65. That's
Nostalgia Chick.
But basically, each of these things are cited in the original article. Point 2. The management of Channel Awesome was aware of sexual misconduct and abuse instigated by Mike Ellis, the CFO at the time, and enacted no disciplinary action until over a year later. They were also aware of sexual misconduct by another producer years later, again not acting for over a year. At least 3 victims have come forward and requested the offender's name not be printed. That's like that right there. That's enough to say fuck Channel Awesome.
Boom. Jesus Christ.
Point 3. Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, is considered talent and not acting in any managerial role, yet has been involved in many company decisions and knew what management knew as far as is known. He also made sweeping decisions regarding the site that had the potential to drastically affect the income of many producers without consulting them beforehand. This whole bit with Doug Walker, it just... You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a high school production, where you get like your friends together and you don't really care about how films are supposed to be made or how channels are supposed to be run. You're like, fuck it, we'll just do it together and have fun. And then they did that. And they kept doing that even after it became a serious business, and they did it for a decade. And then they're like 35 and wondering why no one wants to fucking talk to them anymore.
That is a great way of describing it. It is, this whole thing is amateur hour. It's letting people take over unqualified and just letting them doing it. I do not understand how they ever survived this long. It is baffling to me. It's a miracle.
Like, a great example, Scrump, is, Dave and I, we've been friends since kindergarten. We do No Talent Gaming together. You and I, we've been friends for a few years. We do this podcast together. I do a lot of my stuff on my channel very unprofessionally. Everything that I do online, I have some decent quality equipment, but it's all unprofessional stuff, and we just kind of muddle through it the best we can, right?
Yeah.
However, if I were managing a team of people and I had a lot of money changing hands, I would at the very least try to do, like, even if I didn't have the ability or the talent or whatever to do something completely professionally, I would at least give it a shot.
Or you'd hire someone who did know how to do it.
Yes.
That's what they should have done. Hire a professional, but nope.
They had the money.
Yeah.
The three of us are friends, and so when we do this podcast informally, it's not really that big of a deal, right? Like, Dave and I and Naomi, my girlfriend, and whoever else we have on NTG, we're all friends, so it's not a big deal. I think that Doug and Rob and Mike Michaud kept running Channel Awesome like it was a bunch of friends, when it was very clearly not a bunch of friends anymore.
No.
It was very clearly outside people coming in to do these jobs, and they were just like, no, we're all pals here. We don't have to do anything official.
That's the way it goes really bad. I've dealt with people who tried to do that in the past with businesses, and that never goes well. You're supposed to have a layer of professionalism, proper contracts, people get paid on time, everything's done professionally. You have a firewall between, like, management decisions and talent decisions, and you try and keep the business side and the talent side as separate as possible. They didn't have that. They had none of that. They had the opposite of that. They never established themselves as a proper business organization, and that's what eventually has killed them.
I think a big difficulty when it comes to a lot of people, because I know a friend who has like a big hand in like running a game development, and then it's really hard to balance between being a boss and being a friend, and at the end of the day, you just really can't be both.
No, you've got to have that separation of professionalism there. And I don't know if... for everything I've heard about Mike Michaud has been fucking awful. No one has anything nice to say about that guy, and he's the fucking CEO, so...
I'm actually glad that you brought up video games, Lilith, because...
Video games.
Yeah, you know what this sounds like a lot to me? It sounds like Don Thacker, that whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever get that video back up, by the way?
Yeah, it's back up. Alternate channel. I have a backup channel for that shit.
Nice.
Point 4. Management of the site was of poor quality, particularly in regards to communication, organization, rule consistency, payment, and transparency. Multiple attempts to bring serious concerns to management regarding this were met with very few, usually minimal attempts at repair. That's not really anything special, it's just them being incompetent. Point 5. At least one staff member was asked to work every single day with no holidays or weekends. She was terminated with no given reason and forced to sign an exclusivity contract, barring her from working in the industry for 3 years at the risk of losing her severance pay.
That is fucked up.
She was basically the person who managed the scheduling. She was the closest they had to a producer in the back end of Channel Awesome. She scheduled every single video to go out. She also at least handled some of the scheduling for those big anniversary events, those giant shit-sucking movies that were like 4 hours long a piece they did every year.
Oh god, they were awful.
Well, she was the one who had to at least organize the logistics of shooting those. She was basically the go-to person. It's like, hey, we have to organize plans for something. Holly, you do it. And she did that. And she did it for years. And when she had to like go to a doctor's appointment and was like, listen, can I just schedule videos to launch ahead of time? Mike Michaud was like, no, you can't do that. Even though YouTube does it, even though every fucking site every upload site now will allow you to schedule a video to release at whatever time, they wouldn't let her do it. When they fired her, I remember this very clearly, she had to go for surgery. So she goes for surgery. During the surgery day, Mike Michaud has to schedule it himself, I think. And then she's called into the office the day after surgery, and the doctor's like, you can't fucking go. And she's like, I have to go or else I'm gonna get fired. So she goes into the office a day after surgery, and they just fire her. And they say, yeah, you're done. And her contract stated that she couldn't work in the industry for 3 years without getting paid again. So like she couldn't be any kind of producer or scheduler for the next 3 years, or she would lose her severance pay. She ended up having to leave Chicago, and she had to like leave a bunch of her friends and her family just to find work again. It was pretty rough on her.
Yeah, of all the things I've heard so far, a lot of that has been like, apart from the whole, sexual misconduct stuff, which, yeah, that's pretty bad. This is also really fucking bad. The problem is with this document, it's 69 pages long, and it mixes in like real grievances like that in with nitpicks like didn't stand up against Gamergate enough.
We'll get to that in a minute, Scrump. Point 6. When Channel Awesome ran a crowdfunding campaign, it was so mismanaged they were threatened with investigation by Indiegogo. They then canceled the funded show after 12 episodes of a promised 40. Okay, I actually have a story to tell about this.
Let's do it. Let's do the game show.
Let's do the game show story? Okay, so...
Do it.
Do you two know about the game show?
Oh, I know all about the game show.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, well, Channel Awesome decided that they went to run a game show. They promised all these features, they promised all these people to come on it, they promised all these things, and they raised, it's $50,000, wasn't it? I remember it off the top of my head. They raised...
I thought it was $90,000.
Was it? Shit. Okay, I'm wrong. Was it 90,000? I think they asked for 50 and raised 90, that was it. Basically what happened is, that none of that money is on screen. Do yourself a favor, go and look at the set they made for it. I mean, I feel sorry. I love Brad Jones. I'm a big fan of Brad Jones, the cinema snob, and that's who they had host it, and he was one of the only redeeming qualities about it, but it looks like, literally, it was made of paper mache and cardboard. I don't know what they did with that 90 grand.
Here's my story about this whole thing. Somehow, before anybody else had seen what the game show looked like, Camera Lady, this is back in the day, years ago, got a hold of this image, shared it with, Dave and I, and we laughed at it, but also shared it with Lord Cat, and Lord Cat managed to do like a stream on it and did a big laugh on it. This screenshot came from an unreleased video, and it was later released, so I don't know how Nicole managed to fucking get it. I don't know how she does what she does, but she managed to get this video before it got released. Maybe it was like a private video that she got a link to somehow, I don't know. But she gets this video, and they're doing a commentary for another video, and it's not even related to Pop Quiz Hotshot. And in doing their commentary, they're sitting in front of the Pop Quiz Hotshot set, which you can see in the background there. And then so she leaks this to Lord Cat. Lord Cat shits himself on his own stream laughing at it, and then Lord Cat spreads the picture around. So that's why this picture is one of the first pictures that comes up when you see when you search for like Pop Quiz Hotshot leaks or something. This is one of the first ones, or like Pop Quiz Hotshot Lord Cat. This will be one of the first images that comes up. Yeah, this is the first look that any of us got at that set, and it looks like a fucking nightmare, doesn't it? Holy shit!
$90,000 dues.
Yeah, that's 90,000 shekels there to build that set.
It looks like someone's shed in the backyard.
It looks like a school production.
Do you know what I could fucking do with $90,000?
A whole lot of cocaine.
Cocaine. No, it's just, oh man, like I have to be honest here. I do kind of struggle to make ends meet using only the show's money, which is why I have another job. And to see these chuckle fucks get this much money to just piss it out the window, or just to fund Mike Michaud playing Xbox for a decade. It honestly, this is now me getting triggered. I'm getting pissed off a little bit at this.
I have a decently well-paid job. I have a normie job. I work more than 40 hours a week, but like 90 grand is not fucking chump change, okay? Like that makes me mad as well. That's like almost as much as I paid for my house.
Is the background physical, or is this just a painting?
That is okay. There's curtains on each side. There's the tiled floor. It looks like the whole Pop Quiz Hotshot logo thing, that was just made out of cardboard, and they kind of crafted it together like a grade schooler doing a project.
It really does look like a grade school project. It's super low quality. It's so bad.
There's something else I want you to notice. If you go back and watch the first episode of Pop Quiz Hotshot, the only episode they could get Brad Jones in there for, by the way. Because I think he knew what a disaster it was, and he fucked off right away. But anyway, the first episode. If you watch it, you'll notice that Brad's audio is like ridiculously uneven. Like they couldn't even fix it in post. Now you can kind of see why in this picture. Do you see on the left side? There's blue and red podiums for the contestants, right? You guys see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, do you notice how there's regular mics on those two podiums?
Yes.
Well, on the yellow podium for an announcer, can you tell what mic that is there?
That's like a shotgun mic, isn't it?
It's a shotgun mic. It's a boom mic. It's supposed to hang overhead. And they just pointed it at Brad Jones's face and had him talk directly into it.
Oh, god damn it. I know a very small amount about audio engineering, but that makes me cringe on the inside.
It's fucking ridiculous, the shit. Like, how do you fuck that up? Oh.
Okay.
Okay, let's skip ahead to the next. Okay, here. Point 7. The filming of the anniversary movies and crossovers, though enjoyed by many producers as a great opportunity and experience, was also fraught with multiple examples of inadequate planning and unprofessional behavior, going beyond a simple lack of experience. To boldly flee, in particular, was not a pleasant experience for a large number of cast and crew. Now, everyone seems to have happy memories of that first crossover, the AVGN versus Nostalgia Critic, and that was actually kind of a funny video.
Yeah, I like that.
I enjoyed that back in the day. The second one, the Kickassia one, they were out shooting in the desert for like 5 days, and it took everyone badgering Doug and Rob throughout the first day for them to finally bring food and water to the set for the second day. They had nothing prepared.
Well, wasn't that one like 4 hours long and like some horrible vanity piece?
That's To Boldly Flee. Yeah, that's like the fourth one that they did.
Oh right, I get them mixed up. They're all terrible, to be honest. The first one was.
I think the movies were just a bit too long for me. I've watched the first one, but I've skipped the other ones because I just don't have the time to watch these people fuck around for this long.
I can't remember which one it was, but there's a fucking video somewhere of Spoonie going on about like shitting on everyone else who was on those movies with him, saying like he was the only one who had any kind of like acting talent or anything. It's just amazing. He went on this massive ego trip about it.
I think what that was, and I don't think you can find them anymore, he did a commentary track for the fourth one,
yes, he did.
Flee.
He did
a commentary track.
Yeah, he did, and he just takes a massive shit on everyone and says he's the only actor. I'm the only one who can act. And I was like, what the fuck, Spoonie? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Look, the only thing bigger than Spoonie's ego is his list of diseases that he's came up with.
Now you shut up, Lily. He's got bipolar disorder. He's also got like leprosy, and he's kind of dying of like dengue fever. I've heard.
Only Patreon bucks can cure him.
Yes.
But regarding that To Boldly Flee track, I did actually watch it back in the day. I think it's been taken down from the internet now, but I did watch it back in the day. And he spends most of it describing the situation, not even talking about the movie, but just talking about the situation of why he was let go from Channel Awesome. Because he was fired from that place, if you guys recall.
Yeah, he was. It was over supposedly over a tweet, but there's a lot more to it than that.
It's because like he was supposed to be like a face of the company, and he was making rape jokes on Twitter, and they're like, "You can't do this, Spoonie," and he's like, "Yes, I can," and so that was the end of it, you know.
The way he described it, part of the reason he says he left the company because he felt like his name was being placed below his lessers, and that people were having a hard time finding him.
The thing is, his name begins with S, and the way, if you remember the way that that guy with the glasses site used to be, it used to be fucking alphabetical.
Oh, yes.
It's not that they were billing him wrong, it's just that the site was badly designed. If that was his excuse, like, no one needs to pull his head out of his ass. Then again, that's been true for years.
Okay, I know that I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I am gonna read a part from the main document because I want this point to get across before we get back to the list. This is from the Dr. Gonzo section. Dr. Gonzo's his writings on Channel Awesome. So here's a section he calls the Justin Carmichael Tribute and the Straw That Broke the Camel's Back. In January of 2014, Jew Wario died by self-inflicted gunshot. He was a much-loved and respected member of the community. I personally didn't know him very well because no one was willing to talk to me. He was a smaller guy on the site. But I thought that it would be a nice thing to do a kind of online wake where we would bring everyone together who wanted to be there to say a few words about Justin. I didn't see anybody else talking about the idea, so I approached Michaud. In a rather, in hindsight, out-of-character moment, he got back to me immediately. I presented him with the idea, and he said, well, you're not going to have to worry about that, Gonzo. So my first thought is that he already has something planned. Then he follows that up with, nobody knows who you are. They won't care about anything you're going to put together. We're going to have Doug or Lewis or someone put something together. Somebody people actually come here to see.
Holy shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I sat there stupefied. I couldn't believe that he had said that. Not just that he had flat out said that to me, but that he'd said that about a plan to let people mourn a loss. And then I realized that Mike Michaud never cared about anyone beyond what he could get out of them. Oh, he would put together a Justin Carmichael tribute, but it wouldn't be about the loss. It wouldn't be about letting people grieve. To him, it was just another piece of content, something he could make money off of, even if only indirectly.
Holy shit.
I could even see his thought process. What's the only thing that sells better than sex? Death. He was thinking someone who had never heard of Channel Awesome finding this tribute and going, oh, someone on the site killed themselves? What's that about? And what's this website he worked on? It was never about the loss. It was about promoting his brand. Jesus.
I was quite a fan of Duario. I liked his streams. He was always very real on them. There's a great clip out there of him somewhere. I need to find that's actually pretty touching. Of one of his last
Is it the You're
streams.
Not Stupid clip?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, I remember this one.
It was really kind of shitty when he died. And it was shittier when Todd in the Shadows tried to use his name to go after Gamergate, if you remember that.
Yes!
Yeah,
yes.
Jesus Christ.
That was a underhanded thing to do. It's using your dead friend to advance your own politics.
I'm not surprised, because Todd in the Shadows is honestly a complete fucking piece of shit.
He used to be tolerable, then he opened his mouth about something that wasn't music. And even now, like, I watched a couple of his more modern videos, and they always go on about fucking misogyny and racism and stuff, and they're all fucking social justice-y now. He's not only ruined his online presence, he's ruined his own content.
Point 8. Channel Awesome's management has a history of threatening to drop producers for saying things that they felt would make them look bad on social media and in videos, even when no rules were broken and they weren't mentioned. This is shitty, but it just seems like regular company policy bullshit to me, you know? Like, I don't agree with it, but it's not something exclusive to Channel Awesome.
All online companies do that shit.
Point 9. In 2013, there was a big push by many producers to fix the problems with communication and address the possible financial concerns surrounding the sudden loss of the Nostalgia Critic videos. A written document was presented to them, but as mentioned above, many points were either ignored, laughed off, or addressed minimally. And this is just more of Michaud's, poor management. Yeah.
More incompetence.
Point 10. Management had a contentious relationship with producers who tried to increase their revenue via increasing ads or starting up a Patreon. The former was viewed as encouraging ad block, and the latter was viewed as e-begging. Where do you guys stand on this one? Because I'm kind of in the middle.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Patreon because it's completely voluntary. As long as you don't plug it too much and lock too much content behind a paywall. I'm okay with Patreon. I think it's a good way to support content creators.
Well, I'll be even more forthright about that. I'll say that the way that the site was mismanaged and the way that money was mismanaged and probably how poorly people were paid, because I know a little bit about that people weren't exactly paid very well there, or paid at all in a lot of cases. That them not having a Patreon or them discouraging people having a Patreon is ridiculous because it's the only way that they should be encouraging that because it means that they can stay on the site and support themselves as well. I know they might think, they might move off site if they can support themselves, but in the long run, it's better. It's better to have that outside support and not have to rely completely on the income from a website that's fucking dying. It's for how badly the site was mismanaged. I think it's ridiculous to expect people to not go to Patreon.
On the one hand, I do kind of get the whole, don't beg for money. That's why I don't shell my Patreon or even my gaming channel for that matter all that hard. I don't want my content to be like 50% support me guys, support me, pay my bills guys. You know what I mean? Like people come to watch the videos and if they want to support that should be an option, but it shouldn't be like front and center in my opinion. On the other hand, I also understand having like wanting to feed yourself.
Yes.
Basically, I don't want to turn into turn off that pesky ad block for fuck's sake.
The most red-pilled motherfucker. Internet gaming hero.
The final point on the list, point 11. There has been a pervasive feeling amongst the long-term producers that they are no longer valued or appreciated, and that Channel Awesome cares only for their in-house development. This has been exacerbated by Channel Awesome simply purging the site of any producer that asked to leave without announcement, where before there was heartfelt posts or even goodbye videos. And yeah, I think this happened because they took all that fucking money they've been getting, bought a studio in Chicago, and they have no fucking clue what to do with it. And they've been sitting on this studio for like 5 years. They've been sitting on it and doing barely nothing with it.
Well,
and they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
All of that started when the Nostalgia Critic tried to pivot himself into sketch comedy. What the fuck was that show called again? The show
Demo Reel.
Demo Reel.
Sucked.
Oh, that one. Kept fault him for trying to do something else, but that was a shit show, a total train wreck. And everybody knew it when he said, "Oh, I'm quitting Nostalgia Critic." Everybody knew just from the way he described it. He's like, "We're gonna reenact scenes from movies." Doug, you are not Monty Python. You're not a sketch comedy. Making your own content is hard, and he had to find that out the hard way.
Yeah, he did, and it's stupid because it's like, you tell people to follow their dreams and do what they want to do. And like, okay, Doug, maybe you shouldn't follow your dream. Your dream is, you're terrible at your dream. Yeah, that's why they got the studio though. They were going to have all these people centralized and make all this funny sketch comedy, ha ha ha, and it never fucking happened because it was awful.
Seriously, no hate, Doug. I like your content. You seem like an alright guy so far. I don't know.
Wait, haven't you read this document?
I've skimmed it, but I didn't see what nasty shit he did.
Here, do you want me to kill Doug for you? Okay. Phelan received a reprimand for tweeting a joke making fun of Demo Reel by saying he was going to reveal that Phalis was Sub-Zero the whole time. He was told to apologize to Doug personally.
Oh, God.
Doug knew nothing tech-wise to the point of endless frustration. He didn't know how to record commentaries. He would just have people in Chicago sit close to the camera and record it on the onboard mic. When he had to record the Moulin Rouge commentary over Skype, he asked me to sit in and record it. I was not part of the Moulin Rouge crossover. He just wanted me to press record and sit there. Phelan called him up and explained, step by step, how to use MP3 Skype recorder, which requires a simple button press to use. He ended up calling Nash and having him record it.
Press this record button, please.
That makes Doug sound like an old fucking man, but it doesn't make him sound like an asshole, really.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like Doug raped a bunch of children or something.
Well, yeah, Doug Walker.
Everyone clip that and take it out of context.
No. Don't sue me for defamation, please.
So what you're saying is that Doug Walker raped and murdered a girl behind an Arby's in 1997?
Hold on, I have something here. Okay, here's another bit. Channel Awesome management considered attending conventions a waste of time, despite their contradictory belief that we should do all advertising locally. They hated that we went to MagFest because of a bad experience Doug had there once, despite the fact that we all paid to go there on our own dimes.
But
that sounds fucking petty.
But conventions are the main way you promote yourself in that kind of circle. As a content creator, especially at that level, you have to go and fucking press the flesh sometimes. You have to go and interact with your audience. That's the main point of conventions.
After a year and a half, Indiegogo threatened to investigate their campaign. Mike Michaud forces Doug and Rob to release the first episode of Pop Quiz Hotshot, which they're all embarrassed about. So yeah, they were just going to take the money and run, basically, Doug and Rob, until Michaud had to step in and tell them to actually make the content.
Well, the story is that Brad Jones was actually embarrassed by it, is what I've heard, and that everyone was embarrassed by it. Everyone knew it was terrible. That's why they didn't want to release it. But Indiegogo really forced their hand. And I think what happened is they genuinely gave it a go. No one knew what they were doing. Everyone was incompetent. And they made something that was terrible. And they were, for people who are this technically inept and this morally bankrupt to be embarrassed by something, you know it's bad.
During the filming of Suburban Nights, when they were filming in the park, it was embarrassing because Doug would start giving directions to passerby like they were part of the production. Jesus.
That is freaking so cringe.
He sounds like a fucking narcissist.
I've heard that he's a bit like that. That's one of the things I've heard bad about Doug. That he thinks he's the man when he's on set and when he's trying to direct people, and that he thinks he's all singing, all dancing. And he's not.
In any case, there's a lot to go through here. We could be here for fucking hours dissecting this document, but honestly, go read it for yourself. It took me like 20 minutes to read. It was a good 20 minutes well spent, because Channel Awesome's a fucking shit show. And just to top it off here, I do want to point out there's this letter. Have you guys seen this letter from Channel Awesome replying to this document?
Yes, I've seen that. Do you want me to read it in my announcer voice? I can read it.
Yeah, go ahead, Scrump. Go ahead.
Isn't this my EA like PR department voice that I did? I'll try and see if I can do it again. We wanted to take a moment to clear the air and acknowledge some of the recent public concerns raised by content creators previously associated with Channel Awesome. Channel Awesome is an organization that respects our producer partners and strives to create the best possible enjoyment for everyone. We welcome a diverse community of people joining together to create great videos. For those who have spoken out in the past instances they deemed hurtful or unprofessional, we sincerely regret you feel that way. Our priority has always been to help content partners succeed and provide a vehicle to follow their dreams. When the need arose, we have distanced ourselves from people who were perpetually callous, letting go of significant stakeholders of interest, keeping our mission at the forefront. We appreciate and hear the frustrations of past producers. We are actively taking internal steps to better improve communication with our partners so they can be focused on putting out their great content. And we are open to constructive criticism, the kind that can help us become even better and serve the needs of our community. This is really badly written. But criticism that isn't a means to a productive end does little for either the party criticizing or those in the line of fire. Our focus is now on moving forward with the wonderful team we have and all of our dedicated followers. We want to make our collective future the best it can possibly be. We thank all our content creators, team, and fans for truly making our channel awesome. That's so fucking corny. I'm sorry, I have to stop and say that's so fucking corny. Here's to creating something even better in the future. That whole thing is such a nothing statement. Fuck you, whoever wrote that.
That was probably a Michaud. It sounds like a Michaud nothing statement. Here's what I want to point out right away. Third sentence, second paragraph. For the people who have spoken out about past instances they deemed hurtful or unprofessional, we sincerely regret you felt that way. That's not an apology of their own misdeeds.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry you felt
We're
it.
sorry. We're sorry you're offended.
It's not apologizing for what they did. It's apologizing for them having a bad reaction to what they did. Oh, I sexually assaulted you. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yes.
I'm sorry you got sexually harassed by multiple members of our site. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Or how about the final sentence of the third paragraph? But criticism that isn't a means to a productive end does little for either the party criticizing or those in the line of fire. Yeah, it's just saying we're not going to do anything. That's what that's saying. That's saying that, oh, we don't deem this criticism productive because we don't like it. Therefore, we're just going to ignore it based on the fact that it's not productive as we have deemed it. Alright, that sounds like it's pretty much the end of Channel Fucking Awesome. I don't see them coming back from this. What do you guys think?
I think as long as Doug keeps creating content, some parts of Channel Awesome will still live on.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say that I hope Channel Awesome's over, because it's about fucking time that corpse stopped limping on. But I think as long as Doug Walker exists, and as long as there are people willing to watch his content, for the longest time, Channel Awesome kind of was Doug Walker. And behind the scenes, it may have been shit, and they may have brought a lot of people on board, but he was the talent. He was the key person. He used to be this massive internet guy, and through mismanagement and all this bullshit going on, he's kind of lost that. I don't think it'll ever be what it was. I don't think it'll ever be this big content network, but I do think it will still exist in some form, but honestly, it might be time for them to let go. They need to rebrand or change something, or they need to do something, because it's been a cancer, and it's been this festering wound for years, and a lot of people have known about it. I mean, like I talked about Lord Cat, Iron Liz, and people like that speaking out. And this is kind of the end point. This is people just seeing it. It's been going on for so long. It needs to end. Just let it end. Just let it die, Doug. For the love of God.
It really does seem like he wasted his chance, eh? Like he had a channel. It's like I said at the start. Channel Awesome had a legitimate shot at being a big thing.
It could have been a contender.
And I don't mean like 100,000 subs on YouTube big. I mean one of the biggest fucking content creators out there, straight up. Like they could have been like an MCN, they could have been like a Maker Studios or something. I mean, Maker has had a shit ton of problems itself, but let's be honest. In terms of size, Channel Awesome could have been huge. It could have been pulling in millions of dollars, and they mismanaged it.
Yeah, fuck Mega Studio. They could have been their own like YouTube alternative. They could have been their own content platform. They should have, if they'd made their own tech, if they had their own shit and they hosted their own videos, they could have been a place where other people were hosted. They could have become that. They nearly were that at one point. They predate YouTube as it stands today. Like when Channel Awesome, formerly the guy with the glasses, when it was that guy with the glasses, when they were first founded and they first got big, YouTube was a site for fucking pirated Family Guy videos and terrible like 144p cat videos. YouTube did not exist in its current form, and they were ahead of the curve. And now they're far behind the curve.
Yeah, they really were. And in fact, I can tell you another Lord Cat story. This is something that Lord Cat has stated a few times now. During the first year of that guy with the glasses' existence, before the year one anniversary video, Lord Cat kind of saw the way the wind was blowing with streaming. YouTube-style videos were going to be dwarfed by stream platforms. At least in some instances, like they are in gaming, for example. Like Twitch is way bigger than YouTube for gaming. But he basically he kind of saw the way the wind was blowing, and Lord Cat went to Mike Michaud and said, "Listen, I know how to build us a streaming platform. If you fund it, we can get ground floor on what's going to be the next big thing in the internet in the next 5 to 10 years." And Michaud wouldn't do it. He said, "No, we're good with what we're doing. We're good with just relying on Blip for income, and we're not gonna bother." If Michaud had even a brain cell, we wouldn't have Twitch TV. We would have Channel Awesome being the biggest streaming platform out there. Let's end this one on a more personal story of mine. Scrump, you know that 8 years, no, like almost 9 years ago now, wherever the fuck it was. The Short Fire Otaku channel started as an anime review channel. You know that, right? You've seen that old shit.
Yeah, I've seen your old shit. It's a bit weird to see, but I have seen your really old shit.
Yeah. Well, that stuff, like, there was Dave and I and Nicole, and we just made it together like one summer just for fun, right? And it didn't really go anywhere, but we had a lot of fun doing it. We were like 22. We liked Spoonie. We liked AVGN. We liked those guys, and that was kind of just our thing. Like that was the thing that people did back then, and we had a lot of fun doing it. I looked up to those guys. I did watch Nostalgia Critic pretty religiously for a short while. I watched AVGN religiously for a long while. For fuck's sake, I watched Spoonie for years. Spoonie was, in my opinion, probably one of the best of that type of video maker out there. And look at him now. At his height, he was at 250,000 subs. He's now at 115,000. Okay? He doesn't really do much of anything anymore. He hasn't put out a piece of edited content in nearly 2 years. He constantly shits on his fans. Compare that to JonTron. All right? If you go back and watch JonTron's very first review, he claims Spoonie to be his primary inspiration. JonTron's at 4.5 million subs. And Spoonie's lost half of his sub base in that period of time.
Well, JonTron's also our guy as well.
Yes.
Even before he was our guy, there's a difference. It's not so much a difference in comedy, because, Spoonie's old stuff was really funny. It was a difference in work ethic. Spoonie made excuses. JonTron made content. And I think that was just the long and short of it.
And even when JonTron went through hiatus, he still kept his fans in a clue. That was, if I have any criticisms for Spoonie, that would be my biggest of them all. Back when he still had a Twitter account, he would constantly tweet, but he never kept his fans up to date. Meanwhile, JonTron, after the whole thing with when he showed his power level to everybody,
is that what we're gonna call it?
Yes.
Yeah.
When he revealed his power level, he's received a lot of hate, a lot of backlash. He went cold for a little while, and then he came back with a really big video, and then everybody loved him for it. But even before that, he would tell people what's up, and then he would kept his fans in a clue. He cares about his fans, and I just don't the same feeling with when it comes to Spoonie.
Or anybody, really.
Yeah.
Not just Spoonie. Any of those people from that crowd, that guy with the glasses crowd, none of them cared about their fans, I don't think.
By the way, Spoonie, if you're listening to this, we miss you, buddy.
We miss you. I don't fucking
Come
miss you.
back.
He's a piece of shit now. Okay.
Okay.
Spoonie's dead.
Okay, granted.
Spoonie's dead.
Old Spoonie is not coming back. That's never happening.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry,
never
guys.
happening. I'm gonna put a link to a video. It's an old vlog of mine from 2015. It's where I discuss a lot of this stuff because I go into more details. There was a point at which we applied for Channel Awesome way back in the day, did not get in. We applied a second time about 4 years ago. We were put on their short list. And I didn't really follow up because I didn't really want to... Like, I did it, but then I was like, I don't want to fucking... So I didn't do it, right? We had almost crossed over with Spoonie, and that's a whole story. And actually,
What?
Channel Awesome...
Wow.
Sorry, what?
What? You nearly did a crossover with Spoonie?
Yeah.
You never told me this!
Yeah, dude. Okay, want me to just tell the story here then, instead of linking to the vlog?
Spill the beans, Dev. Spill the fucking beans.
Scrump, you know that we were on that fucking failure of a site for like a year and a half called Reviewtopia, right?
Oh, yeah. I know about that.
Yeah, huge fucking regret, by the way. I know, it was a joke. And you know what? Even like the moment we joined it, I kind of had this feeling like this place is a fucking joke. And we should have left. We should have left, but we didn't. We had arranged with Spoonie to do a review. We were both going to be at Con Bravo to do a review called Tekken the Motion Picture. And in fact, if you go back and watch, if it's still fucking up, if you go back and watch his Tekken the Motion Picture review, our crew has a script writing credit for it because when he was not allowed to do the review by Channel Awesome, we just gave him the script and said, here, you can just use it. Like, you can just adapt it to serve just by yourself and we'll just do it that way. And so I think he actually got Film Brain to play the part of SFO, of Dave, in that review. Spoonie did a review like a year previously with Pat the NES Punk of a Highlander movie, I think. Mike Michaud came down on him hard and said, you can't cross over with people who aren't part of Channel Awesome. Period. You can't do that.
Wow.
Spoonie tried to like set up a review with us, and we had the script going, and we were talking back and forth, and then Michaud, and because we were part of Reviewtopia, which was considered to be the direct competition to that guy with the glasses back then, Michaud was like, you absolutely cannot cross over, and we won't let you do it. That was the beginning of his dissatisfaction with Channel Awesome. That planted the seed.
Wow.
Of that event.
I didn't know any of that. So you got cucked by Michaud?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
But here's the thing. During that time, I actually respected Diamanda Hagen. And just recently, I went back just to see what she's doing. She's not doing anything. Well, she's still making content, but no one's fucking watching it. And my channel is significantly bigger than hers at this point. And mine's growing and hers isn't. I'm starting to surpass these people. You know? Like, I think at some point I'm going to be bigger than Spoonie. Hopefully some point soon. And it's going to be like a surreal experience because these are people that I looked up to for years.
You're growing.
It's kind of a strange feeling because it's not, I don't think it's because of anything I've done. I think it's because they're all fucking losers.
It's ever since you started that show with that Scrump guy.
Oh yeah, it's all about you, Scrump.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, if you ever leave the channel, I guess I'm just fucked, right? I guess I'm just gonna have to kill myself and delete my channel.
Delete this. It's about my dick. It's what you need my peen. You need the spice.
You're nothing without me. I made you who you are today.
Can you imagine, like, 10 years in the future, Scrump and I are getting into, like, daily arguments over the channel, and he's like, I fucking made your channel, I'll take it away from you, Dio. We turn into Channel Awesome?
No, I don't...
You gotta turn into, Maddox and,
Maddox?
Yes.
I'm your JF. I'm your JF.
Oh god, can you imagine if I turn into fucking Warski and you're JF? I would shoot myself. I would fucking go shoot up YouTube if that were the goddamn case. Jesus. Hey, do you guys like the sound of my new keyboard? I got a mechanical one.
I do.
Which one did you get?
Division 0 X40.
What the fuck is that? Get a Corsair like a normal human being.
It's well reviewed, man.
It's not a K70 though. The K70, like, I fucking love my keyboard. So it is.
The Corsair K70.
It's so good. It's the classic one as well. None of that RGB bullshit.